Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with Monday Night Raw, broadcast live last night on the USA Network from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The main event of the post-Crown Jewel episode saw Austin Theory cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase for a shot at Seth Rollins' United States title.
We were primed and ready for the United States Championship match. Lashley's after attacking Seth freaking Rollins, who's in a bad way, but then this man, Austin Theory, has appeared. Looking to feast on Rollins potentially. No. He's looking to cash in.
But Rollins defeated him, getting the pinfall after Theory took a beating outside the ring from former U.S. champ Bobby Lashley, then took a curb stomp from Rollins. The match took place immediately after a pull-apart brawl between Rollins and Lashley, with the storyline being that Theory was attempting to cash in while Rollins was in a weakened state. With the loss, Theory became the fifth Money in the Bank winner in WWE history to come up short after cashing in his title shot. Last night's Monday Night Raw also saw the WWE return of Mia Yim, who appeared at the side of AJ Styles and the OC in their feud against Judgment Day, specifically as a rival for Judgment Day's female member Rhea Ripley. Styles, the OC, and Yim fought off Judgment Day during an in-ring promo segment and brawl.
We tried to find someone to take care of our Rhea problem. And we still haven't found that someone.
Nobody likes you, that's why.
That someone, she found the OC.
Wait.
Oh no! It's Mia Yim! Mia Yim is back in WWE!
And she's just flattened Rhea Ripley. And now it's all kicking off inside the ring.
Well, the OC wanted an equalizer. Mia Yim fit the description. It is a throwdown on Monday Night Raw.
Mia Yim just finished up her contract with Impact Wrestling on October 8th. She hasn't been seen in a WWE ring since December 28th, 2020. Also on Raw, Nikki Cross became what may have been the final WWE 24/7 champion, defeating Dana Brooke for the title in a conventional in-ring match, then appearing to discard the belt backstage afterwards. Cross was the 205th 24/7 champion in the 3.5-year history of the title and was an 11-time champion herself. Earlier in the show, Cross was involved in an angle that saw the announcement of the first War Games match for Survivor Series set to take place November 26th at the TD Garden Arena in Boston. Cross attacked Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair during an in-ring promo segment, leading to a brawl also involving Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai of Damage Control, as well as Asuka and Alexa Bliss. Moments earlier, Belair, Asuka, and Bliss had challenged Bayley and Damage Control to a War Games match. Cross would likely be involved as well in the 10-woman match, but other participants are not yet known. In other results from last night, the Usos and Solo Sikoa defeated the New Day and Matt Riddle when Sikoa pinned Riddle. Austin Theory pinned Shelton Benjamin. Baron Corbin defeated Cedric Alexander. Otis went over Elias, and The Miz pinned Johnny Gargano. Following his victory, Miz was attacked by Dexter Lumis, who then fled the scene. In more WWE news, last Saturday's Crown Jewel from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia was the most watched international WWE premium live event of all time, surpassing the record just set in September by Clash at the Castle from Cardiff, Wales. That's according to an internal memo circulated to company executives and shared by Fightful Select. The memo also revealed that Crown Jewel's viewership on Peacock in the United States was in the millions. WWE also announced yesterday that the January 23, 2023 edition of Monday Night Raw from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia will serve as the 30th anniversary of the show. There is no word yet on what is planned to commemorate the occasion. The first episode of Monday Night Raw took place at the Manhattan Center in New York City on January 11, 1993. In AEW news, AEW Executive Vice President Nick Jackson, one half of the Young Bucks, last night made his first public appearance since All Out on September 4th. Jackson was on hand in Los Angeles to give out t-shirts during an LA Clippers Utah Jazz basketball game. Nick Jackson, along with CM Punk and AEW EVPs Kenny Omega and Nick's brother Matt Jackson, have not been seen since being suspended by AEW following the backstage altercation during the All Out press scrum. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega have been backstage at recent AEW events, and their return to AEW television is believed to be happening soon. With AEW Full Gear coming up on Saturday, November 19th, WrestleTix reports that as of last Sunday, 10,494 tickets had been distributed for the event at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, with 1,459 seats remaining available. Tickets distributed have already exceeded last year's Full Gear, which drew 10,442 people to the Target Center in Minneapolis. In ratings news, last Friday night's taped edition of SmackDown on Fox drew an audience of 2.131 million, according to Showbuzz Daily. The previous week's episode drew only 835,000, due largely to SmackDown being moved for the night from Fox to FS1 due to Game 1 of the World Series. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was .48, translating to 626,000 viewers, according to WrestleNomics. SmackDown ranked number 2 in the key demographic for the evening on network TV, behind popular Mexican TV series Ricos Tambien Llorar on Univision. Prior to the one-week switch to FS1, SmackDown had held the number 1 position in the demo on network TV for 15 consecutive weeks. This was the smallest total audience for SmackDown on Fox since the taped September 2nd show, and the smallest audience in the key demo since August 26th. AEW Rampage, which aired live later in the evening on TNT from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, experienced a 20.37% increase in total viewership from the previous week's episode, bringing in an average of 455,000 viewers, up from 378,000 for the October 28th edition. That's according to Showbuzz Daily. In the key demographic, Rampage drew a .14 rating, totaling 183,000 viewers, and up from the previous week's .12 rating, according to WrestleNomics. The show ranked number 20 for the night on cable TV in the key demo, up from number 27 the week before. In an update on Nick Aldis, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
The two-time former NWA World Champion has been suspended effective immediately by the National Wrestling Alliance and will no longer be appearing at Saturday's NWA pay-per-view Hard Times 3, where he had been scheduled to face Otin's son. He has also been pulled from the NWA Revolution Rumble TV tapings in New Orleans on November 12th and 13th. Aldis had been scheduled to do media interviews yesterday in support of Hard Times, but they were canceled in the wake of the suspension, according to Fightful. The suspension comes after the latest critical comments made by Aldis in a since-deleted Instagram post put up Saturday, in which he declared he had given the NWA his notice, citing creative differences with NWA owner Billy Corgan and dissatisfaction with the direction of the company. Aldis's comments were directly referenced as the reason for his suspension in the NWA's official announcement. His earlier intention had been to fulfill his obligations through January for the remainder of his contract. In a tweet directed at fans coming to the New Orleans shows, Aldis wrote yesterday, quote, "Sorry to disappoint, but I was removed from the shows this weekend after giving my notice. I fully intended to fulfill my obligations to the audience, but unfortunately the company doesn't seem to share the same values." End quote. Fightful also reported the origins of Aldis's contentious relationship with Corgan as stemming from last year's all-women NWA pay-per-view, Empower, and the disrespect he felt Corgan showed to Aldis's wife, Mickie James, who served as executive producer for the event. Aldis and James had reportedly kept quiet about the issue, due to Aldis's position as a major star for the company. In a recent appearance on the 10 Count, Corgan cast doubt on the possibility of a second Empower pay-per-view, questioning whether there were enough female wrestlers available of high enough quality to carry an entire pay-per-view. For the Wrestling News, I'm Lou Kipilman.
In injury news, Natalya is recovering from scheduled nasal surgery, with Post Wrestling and other sources reporting that the hard strike to her face from Shayna Baszler, which caused what appeared to be a broken nose during a match that took place on October 28th and aired last Friday on SmackDown, was pre-planned as a cover for the surgery and a way to write Natalya off TV. Natalya posted a selfie on Instagram yesterday morning revealing her bandaged nose and updating fans on her recovery. And we close with some news out of Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced the teams that will be participating in both the World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League. The 10 teams announced for the World Tag League include Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, Evil and Yujiro Takahashi, Tetsuya Naito and Sanada, Aaron Hanare and the Great Okan, Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi, Aussie Open, Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols, and Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin. World Tag League runs from November 21st through December 4th, with the victorious team getting a shot at IWGP World Tag Team Champions FTR at Wrestle Kingdom 17. The teams included in the Super Junior Tag League will be Francesco Akira and TJP, Leo Rush and Yo, Bushi and Teton, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask, Dick Togo and Sho, Ryusuke Taguchi and Clark Connors, Doki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Kevin Knight and Kushida, and El Lindemann and Alex Zane. The Super Junior Tag League will run from November 21st through December 14th, with the winners challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship also on January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom 17. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.